The Battlewagon appears to be listing. Yeah, this is what I came home to last night. Apparently, my daughter decided to try to drive to the Sheridan exit on US 36 after getting a flat. Absolutely disintegrated that tire, probably destroyed the wheel. We'll find out here soon. But then lost control going up the exit ramp and decided to take out a light pole and a sign just past the RTD bus pickup. This is US 36 heading west towards Boulder, heading northwest-ish. I'm not looking at what you're looking, so I apologize if I'm bouncing you around. I'm looking out the windshield and just kind of holding my hand up. That's 88th Avenue, goes over the top of US 36, somewhere between here and about halfway, we're guessing. Between that 88th overpass right there and Sheridan, which is the next exit. Neva got a flat tire driving the Battlewagon yesterday. Left rear passenger tire went flat. There's a lot of debris on the side of the road, so we're not really sure where it happened, but somewhere through here. And she was terrified during all the height of the traffic to be on the side of the road, so she decided to drive on the flat until the exit ramp. And you can see this pitches uphill. A lot of debris in the shoulder, so she must have bounced back onto the lane here. She drove up this and tried to get off on Sheridan with a flat left rear tire, which lost control on her. Definitely driving too fast for a flat tire. So as she drove up this hill, you're gonna see this with me, I haven't seen it yet. She drove up just like we are, and she proceeded to lose control right through here, and she took out that sign and then hit the berry bushes. License plates all wackadoodle. Apparently there were some berry bushes that we have pink berries all over the place. We lost, I don't know why, but we lost both fog light electronics popped out. But the front of the car seems to be somewhat okay. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Can't really tell where it hit. Definitely the license plate's a mess, but it's not fitting quite right across the top. Yeah, it's pretty good on this side. But over here on this, oh, there's berries all over the place. Yeah, the whole, let's see, the whole license plate's full of berries. Nice. Berry bushes. Took a chunk out here. Didn't really mess it up that much. We towed it home. Nothing's leaking. Didn't drive over the street light. It apparently just sent it flying to the right. Not really sure where it hit, where the impact was, because it's all kind of scratched up a little bit, because that's also the berry bushes. It's all berry colored underneath where she drove over the bushes. But yeah, I started it up last night, moved it, it stops, it starts, it moves. There's nothing leaking, which is really good news, because under here, oh, you can see it got dinged a little bit. Hopefully it's not leaking. That is a brand new, literally 2-week-old air conditioning condenser. I'm crossing my fingers that thing is not leaking. All right, let's see what we got here. First things first, we are going to change an absolutely destroyed tire. Jesus. Don't do that. Don't drive on a flat tire, people. This is what happens. It is not going to end well. All right, YouTube, but this does give us a good opportunity. We're gonna make lemonade out of lemons. That's the right saying, right? So we have that destroyed absolute tire. My daughter was afraid to change it on the side of the highway last night with everybody driving by her fast. Not necessarily a bad idea, because that she would have been sitting about here with cars and between 5 and 6 o'clock driving very fast past her with a lot of traffic. So she was afraid of that, so she tried to drive to the next exit and then lost control of it going up the exit ramp. It goes uphill and bends to the right a little bit, and obviously when the weight shifted to that, it disintegrated and she went across. She turned to the right abruptly and took out the street light. So gives us a chance to go through a real world scenario. Well, sort of real world because of that damage. But we're gonna switch out the spare tire. All right, so that's our spare tire, 50 miles an hour max. So driving to work the next couple of days, they are going to be driving back roads, no highways. But we just found when we pulled out our spare and our little jack, there's no tire iron. There's no way to undo lug nuts in this car. Didn't know that. Never looked around in there before. Never really paid that much attention to it. All we got is a tow hook, a jack. It does come with a handy dandy little cover for a punctured wheel. I can't read that in Swedish or German or whatever that is, but yeah, we have a tow hook and a jack. No tire iron, so she wouldn't have been able to fix this on the side of the road anyway. So we're gonna do it with the home tools. All right, YouTube, we got the donut on there. I took it for a little drive down the street and immediately turned around and came back. There is a clicking noise coming from the right front wheel. In one of the pictures before they put it on the tow truck, it looked like it had like a piece of a metal post sticking up in the suspension, or it looked like something had actually broken off and was hanging down. But it was only in one or two photos, kind of hard to see, but when we zoomed in on the computer screen, we could see that it was metallic, not a stick. So check it out. I'll post that picture right here. I'll put a little circle around it. But when I went underneath, there was a clicking noise in the front. I'll show you what I found. Actually, we'll, here, it's up in the air right now. We will rotate this tire. No clicking noise. But I'll show you what I found underneath. All right, YouTube, do you see the boot right there? Right there where the little pinch on the lock ring for the CVC boot. It is greasy. There's a puncture hole right there. Everything is, can't hold that light in my teeth. It's a little LED light stick from AutoZone. But when I rotate this, there's no clicking noise now. You can hear it, but you can see right when that thing goes by, it's wet. I stuck my finger in there. There's a puncture hole. I'm pretty sure that whatever that piece of metal was punctured through that and damaged the CVC joint. And when it's got weight on it and load, it is cracking and popping and making all kinds of noise. Because now there's nothing. And I also saw this, which I don't think has anything to do necessarily with the accident. But where did it go? There it is. Let's find that little light stick. This will help you see. Oh my God, this is unplanned in so many levels. Yeah, see? Right there, the tie rod end boot is split, so that needs to be replaced as well. So tie rod end and an axle. You can see the grease is leaking. I can rotate this back just a wee bit. See if I can. This is a better view. See if I can show you. Where's it at? There's a puncture right where it's all greasy. Yeah, so this isn't going to drive very far. It is not drivable. Going to need a new axle. Right front axle. It's going to need a new tie rod end. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Fun stuff. I can't find any other damage. I think I'm going to jack it up in the air and let it idle in gear and see if we can hear that popping noise. Welcome back, YouTube. It's been a few days. Been working soccer tournaments locally, so didn't have a chance to look at this car since then. So 3 days since the accident. That was Thursday night, and this is Sunday evening. Gonna show you the current situation, but the Battlewagon Lagertha is in the garage. It is up on jack stands. I'm gonna bring you up to speed on what's been happening. So taking a look at this with the hood up, you can see the way this wants to sit. This right here, this metal bracket, this upper radiator mount, it's a flat shelf across here, mostly flat, and then it has a little front that goes down on the front behind the grill here. And gives all the structure to the sandwich of, what are these? We have the condenser, which has just been replaced. We have a, what are all these? We have the intercooler and the transmission cooler as part of the radiator. So yeah, there's a sandwich of 3. So those were the condenser was replaced recently, and it turned out to be okay that I can tell. But you can kind of see how this doesn't want to sit flat. Like over here on this side, it sits nice and flat. But over here, it won't sit flat. It just can't do it. So somehow the metal bracket here has lifted up, probably from the impact with the street light or the street sign. Most likely the pole on the street light, and it just isn't allowing this to sit flat. So we need to pull this off. This is easy to get off and see what the damage is underneath, see if we broke this. I really never liked this bumper anyway, just because it had the tiger stripes in it. So we'll look for a new one at the junkyard. But I'm also going to show you what I found underneath. All right, we are underneath, and we are rolling our way to the way backs. All right, there's the. Let me get an angle where you can see what the heck we're looking at. There's the catalytic converter, the front of it, just rolling past. When we get back here, I'm gonna open this up. Let's see if we can see it up there. Where was it? All right, there's trying to get lit up and get you to see this. So here's the resonator in the center channel. The driveline axle sits above the resonator higher up in the channel. But you can kind of see this. This heat shield kind of got, it's all lumpy and kind of got messed up. And what had happened, I'm gonna come to this side. Bear with me. All right, not sure what you can see. This is really hard to get an angle on. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. Let's see if I can back you up and still see you. I don't have it that high in the air. All right, so this is the front of the resonator, and there's two levels of a heat shield. What you're seeing on the first heat shield that you can see, just above the exhaust pipe, and it's heading, this is the exhaust pipe coming from the cat to the resonator. There's a heat shield, and it's a lower heat shield, and then above that is the drive line, the drive shaft going to the rear of the car, and then there's a heat shield above that as well. So this lower heat shield, somehow, this exhaust pipe, you know, this right here, got pushed up, and it something hit in here where I'm tapping with my light, pushed this heat shield up, and on the drive shaft, I don't know if you can see it up there. Can you see it, the metal shaft above? Hard to get an angle that will show you because you're too close to focus. But anyway, up there, let's see if I can light it up from the back. There we go, we'll light it up from the back. And now you can't see diddly squat. But right above up there is a knuckle, or the knuckles on a universal joint. And what had happened was this heat shield got bent upwards just to the point where it was whacking the knuckles as they turned on the driveline. So as I drove it down the road, when I changed that donut tire, I drove it down the road, it felt like it had some resistance to it, and I click, 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 knack, 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 knack as I was driving down the road. Obviously something was wrong. Pulled it in the garage, put it up in the air, and wasn't really sure what was causing it, but then Volvo Brett told me to go looking through the driveline and see if there was something binding up on it, and sure enough, it was this heat shield. As soon as I pulled it away and got it more back into place, we didn't have the problem of the click, click, click in resistance in the driveline. Everything accelerated fine. We also have, and I'm going to try to get where I can show it to you. Do you see that? There's a mangled section of heat shield right here at the cat. So that's going to be putting off some heat. I'm not sure what we're going to do there. I'm not sure if that's from the wreck or whether that happened before. This might be upside down. I have no idea. I'm looking at it upside down. I can barely see what I'm doing under here because I don't have it very high in the air. The other thing I noticed, here, I'll flip around so you are right side up. Check this out. This little guy. This is turned down. It's missing a bolt. It's supposed to be nice and flat right there with a bolt in it, a little 10 that goes up in there and holds this brace and the heat shield in place. It's missing the bolt over here. It does not look like the bolt was stripped out. And this is pulled down. So somehow this probably caught a shrub or something when they were backing out for the tow truck as it hit the shrubs with the berries. And I'm assuming since this bolt was missing, it just pulled it down. So I'm going to whack that back up with a hammer. We have no more whacking on it, but yeah, we got to pull that front bumper cover off and see where the damage is on the structure underneath. We got to decide what we're doing with the Shield-Maiden. All right, YouTube, I have the Torx. Both sides are loosened up. Both bolts are out. The Dynamic had replaced those with 12 millimeters because the bolts that were originally on there had stripped when they did the AC condenser, so they replaced them with better bolts that were 12 millimeter heads. So the piece of cake to get those two things out. These are now out, pulled the pins. That side's also loosened up on the Torx head, so this should slide out. I'm going to try to do it one-handed. Let's see if I can get this to release. There we go. It just popped and freed itself. It just slides out of the channel. Make sure it's clear. And this one's sliding. I should be able to pull this sucker out. We'll see what happens. Oh, this is all one-handed, so heavy and awkward. I'm going to put, let's see. Something's wrong. I have to set you down. Give me a second. Hang on with me, YouTube. All right. Here's what I got. What do I have here? What's connected? Oh, the windshield wipers, or the wiper or sprayers for the headlamps. And one fog light, but that should be long enough to reach the ground. No, it is not. All right, gotta let you go so I can disconnect it with one hand. Ironically, I just set that in there because it flew out and has no bulb in it from the hitting the light pole. All right, here's what we got on this cross brace. This is what I want to see. think this might, I don't know what these are supposed to look like normal, but that looks like some sort of organic bulging process there. Not sure if that's normal. Still seems kind of square. Just kind of seems like it took an impact there on the right side. Although I think this car was hit because this headlight is newer. I think it was in a minor accident before we owned it. So this may be old damage, I'm assuming. But what's really weird is when you come over here, it has the same look to it. So maybe this is normal? Can't really tell. It just kind of seems organically bent rather than like machined what would have been square. I do know that just seems like it's compressed a little bit. A little bit of a hit here. No, that's normal. That side and this side have the same because this is a flat face for that mount. This is a flat face for the mount. That's where these are the two bolts that come through for the front bumper cover. So they are square right there. So that is normal. The two sides. Okay, so this is buckled a little bit, but this definitely didn't happen in this accident because that's when before we bought the car. This is buckled a little bit back there. This had been replaced. And you can kind of see now that this is just sloped up a little bit. So I think I can get this to flex back down. We can get that flex back down somehow. Probably push this back in. That'll help. Oh, there we go. That will help a lot. We push this back in. It will pull down this front right here that lifted up. And we'll have this thing square. Let's see what we got here. Here's the slider that you can now see. This, it's kind of in its track. But as you tighten up that Torx bolt, it goes this direction and it locks in and holds a lip on the inside of here. And same thing on the other side. I'll show you on the other side. Yeah, this one's out of its track. Might have broke. We'll have to look at that a little bit more closely, but you can see on this one, it's not sitting right in its track. I'll have to take it apart and see if I can get it to pop back in there. But as you tighten it, it goes this way, and that grabs a lip on the inside of the bumper cover and just keeps it, holds it in place, gives it the tension that it needs to be symmetrical. So they don't seem to be broken. Have locks. Oh, yeah, this one's missing. Need a new one of these. This one is missing the lock tab right here. So the bumper cover has a little slot that slides in right there, and there's supposed to be a tab sticking up that locks it. So that needs to be replaced. Those are easy to find. I'll probably get that off the same car I get the bumper cover off of. This one, you can see it. It's right there. See that little tab sticking up? This little tab that sticks up, this little slot is missing. So this one on this side, it can go back behind there and grab it, which is ironically because this side took more of the impact on the light pole, but didn't break the light. So yeah, that's what we got. Got to find a new bumper cover. I think we're okay with the structure I see here. I don't see a lot of damage. Like, I don't see anything that's like, oh wait, this is straight sticking out. This sticks out like that. And on this side, not so much. This got bent back. It took an impact right there. It has definitely taken an impact. I don't know if I can straighten that. That might be beyond me. All right, quick update on the Battlewagon. Yeah, it's definitely bent a little bit right here. This is definitely pushed back, but it did not puncture, ironically, the old plastic on the washer fluid. So how shocking is that? Yeah, don't know why, but it didn't. It just pushed back and stopped right at the edge of it. So that's kind of odd. Probably going to just rebuild it. These are flexed a little bit, but the structural strength of all of this comes from this collapse, and then this entire thing can accordion all the way back. So there's still quite a lot of structure here. I'm not too worried about it. This side had been bent before when we first got the car. It had been in a wreck. This light had been replaced, but both lights are out of here. I did take advantage, took the headlights out, and I was able to get this to flex quite a bit more down and push it back. This bumper impact brace right here had been missing its mount, so this didn't have anything to hook into. It has that on this side. But with this, I have been able to pry on this a little bit, push on it, flex it, push it back down, and get this to level back so that that bumper cover can mount on top of it flushly. Or flush, I guess, is just the easier way to say that. And then I did take advantage of this. Look at that. That headlight was the original, I'm pretty sure, because it was always yellower than that one. More yellow. It's still a little bit more yellow. You can just tell a little bit of difference in color. Ironically, it's smoother. This one has more like little rock chips and stuff in it. But it is definitely more clear. but I took advantage of it with the Meguiar's Plasti, and then got the power drill out and just went to town, flicking stuff everywhere, and got it really, really polished up. So they are looking pretty damn good. It's the best they've looked since I've owned this car. So I think we're going to rebuild it, just put it back together, and see if I can find another bumper cover. I did try to, this is a little trick I learned. This had broken off. It had been mounted wrong. These tabs are supposed to go over the top of the upper radiator brace. So they're supposed to sit like my fingers, right? They were mounted like that once, and when they tightened this bolt, it snapped it. So I had super glued it, but in the wreck, when it hit the light pole, it popped off. So I'm trying right now, you just saw it move. I'm trying to let this set up with some gray silicone. High torque gray silicone. I had learned this trick on the Previa. Oop, it's all moving around. I gotta reset this. So this has still got to cure overnight, but I learned this trick on the Previa's mirrors. The tabs break off of them, and they want to pop off as you hit dirt roads or rumbles or just vibrations in the dirt roads, washboards. I learned this trick that you can actually glue them into place using this gray silicone. And high torque silicone, I think, is what it is. And I'm letting this set up, and hopefully this will mount it better. I can get it mounted up, and my assumption is when I do find a good bumper cover to replace that one that I'd never liked, when I do find a good bumper cover, I'll probably find one or two of these headlights that are in good condition. So I will probably grab this one if it's not already broken. So that will probably get us by until I find that. Everything seems to be good. No leaks, no damages on the brand new, literally 14-day-old condenser. So things are looking good. We're going to put this thing back together, and I'm going to put a new axle in it, new tie rod end, and yeah, we are good to go. All right, major scores from the junkyard. This is our 0507 headlight. That looks like crap. But all of the mounts are intact. The top one, this one's broke off on ours. That one broke off and I glued it. It still has the interior one. These are always broken. And it's got the bottom one. They are all there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 mounts are still there. It's still got the hooks to hold it. None of this has broken off. It's shocking. But it looks like crap. So I'll either put the other lens on it or use the back. Yeah, we're gonna make it work. Got these. Got some HID headlights from what is this, from 03 to 05 or 03, 04. This is glass headlights with the level adjusting headlights. This will not fit my 02. It might fit the 07, we'll have to see. But this has the, they're like our headlights, except they're black bezels around the edges. And it came with washers. Perfect. I found one of these. Perfect condition. Goes underneath the radar. I didn't even know it came with side slats for the air to get to the brakes. What else did we get? We got a tray. We got a cross brace for the heat shield. 2 fog lights. We got a brace for the left side on the bumper, a new cargo cover, the cargo net that sits above this and opens up with the flap. I haven't even seen one of those available. Yeah, scored everything but the bumper cover. So we're gonna make this mount with what we got. See if I can fix that headlight, make this one the mountings work on the other one's headlight, unless I can clean this one up really well. But yeah, that was a score until we get a new bumper cover. All right, YouTube, driving home from getting a new set of Continental Contact Tours, something like, or True Contact Tour, something or other tires, the same ones we had on the car before the blowout. Got new tires on here. Alex, the owner of Gaito Tires in Longmont, he helped us out as a longtime customer on those because Continental said they were just over 4 years, literally by 1 month. So they were no longer eligible for the weather conditions, weather drying, dry rot on the tires, and Colorado's high altitude and sun. So I was on my own, and Alex helped us out a little bit. We do appreciate that. Got the same tires on here. They were fine tires. We just had a dry rot situation. They were 4 years old plus 1 month. But we're good to go. The axle arrived today by UPS with a tie rod in. Going to replace that on Monday next week. But I think Lagertha, the Shield-Maiden, is good to go, back on the road. Be safe. All right, YouTube, we are back. The front bumper cover's back on. It has new fog lights that I pulled out of the junkyard that were in great condition. Hardly any rock chipping or pits on the glass. The bumper's back on. It fits better across the top. Not quite perfect, but it is good for now. I hate that bumper cover anyway, as I mentioned before. We're going to get a new one. That side's fitting pretty good. I need to get a new under bumper. It's a little collapsed on the back. It has some fins, plastic fins that collapsed on the impact that it took to the pole here. So as soon as I get another one on there, it'll pull that a little bit more out. It'll fit better. I'm still waiting on a seal for the washer jet motor pump on the compartment. So there's no washer fluid in there yet because the pump, I actually got a replacement pump at the junkyard a week ago. The headlight's back in, it's clean. I hate this headlight, it doesn't seal. So I just washed the car the other day and it still has moisture in it. So that seal is not good. I hate that headlight, it's got a broken mount on it anyway. So we'll get a new one of those. Got a new mount on the bumper. It sits now nice, flush, and tight with a locking tab on the top. New tires. It is driving perfect. Got the alignment done yesterday at Firestone. I just need cosmetic stuff now. We just need a new bumper cover. Got to get a license plate mount because the other one's mangled. Kind of straighten out that license plate you saw. And we'll get a new bumper cover on there. We got to get the fluid filled up on the washer fluid. I'm going to find a new headlight. And the Lagertha's good to go. It's driving. Drives great. Drove it yesterday on the highway 70 miles an hour. 75 miles an hour, and it drove absolutely perfectly straight with a new alignment, new tires. The wheel was not even bent. You saw how damaged that tire was. It did not bend the wheel, even going off of the paved surface and taking out a streetlight. It did not bend that wheel. So kudos, Volvo. The Shield-Maiden survives. We are going to go back onto the road. All right, YouTube, be safe out there. Do not drive on a flat tire. And if you do, drive very slow to the nearest point you can pull off safely and fix it there. Call for help there. Don't continue driving on the road, and especially don't do it at high speed because this could happen to you. Be safe.